Hey guys, welcome back to another pickups video. This time trying something a little bit different and new, doing digital pickups. So for those of you that watch my regular physical pickups videos, don't worry, I'll still be doing those. But as I mentioned in my older videos, they will be less frequent. Just because I am purchasing more and more digital games as times goes by, just because of the convenience factor, and also because I find myself playing more and more PC or Steam games as of late, and also because there's great digital sales both on the PlayStation Store, the Nintendo eShop, and also I have the Game Pass service. So I'm slowly but surely, I think, transitioning more and more towards digital services. Which is it's a little bit rare in this community. I think people kind of favor more physical purchases and whatnot. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy this format. And this is the first one that I'm doing, and it's very hard to do because I actually buy a lot of digital games via bundles, like whether it's the Humble Bundle store or websites like Fanatical. It's so easy to buy a lot of games for dirt cheap. So I picked a selected few for this first version of my digital pickups, and these are games that I picked during Steam sales or through Fanatical bundles and whatnot. So with that being said, I'm just gonna get started here. I have a couple of tabs open on my browser. This is my Steam profile page, but I want to start with this game that really that I'm playing right now, and I think I'm getting close to completing the game. And that game is Paradise Killer. It's a first-person, kind of like a murder mystery solving type of detective game, if you will, with a very unique art style and art direction. The game, it's heavily influenced in like Grasshopper manufacturer styles, like a Suda 51 type of graphical style. And in fact, if nobody told me, when I first played this game, I would have guessed, oh yeah, this is a Suda 51 game, just because everything from the sound cues, the sound effects, to just about anything, the gameplay, the art direction, just the craziness, the weirdness in the game. It's just very, very interesting, and as you guys can see, overwhelmingly positive reviews. Like I said, it's an indie type of game that I'm playing right now and enjoying it. So it's played in first person, and look forward to my impressions video, because I'm really enjoying this, and I'm sure once I am done with the game, I will be doing an impressions video. But highly recommend it if you guys are into kind of like mystery solving games, kind of like the Danganronpa or the 999 games, except this is more like an open world first person. You have a little bit more freedom to actually play detective, if you will. The next game I picked up, I picked this one very, very recently, and that game is the Sexy Brutale. This game was released, let's see, in 2017, a couple of years ago. Heard nothing but good things about this game. And in fact, this is another kind of like mystery solving type of game. I think we're in a theme here with solving murder cases. But this has a very unique art style, as you guys can see here on the preview video. Very unique gameplay elements where you can rewind or stop time, I think. I haven't played it in detail yet, but I'm looking forward to it because this game had a lot of positive I guess impressions from people that have played the game. So definitely looking forward to playing the Sexy Brutale. Here I'm just I guess I should have done this with Paradise Killer, but just kind of showing you guys the full extent of the full screen of the preview of the game. So with that being said, Sexy Brutale, it was on sale for like $5, I think, recently. The next one, I want to give a kind of like a shout out to indie games here on Steam. This is one that got released not too long ago, and it got recommended to me by one of the curators that I follow on Steam, and it's called the Salazar House, or is that the Horror of Salazar House. It's a very cheap game. It's only like $2 or $3. I bought it on sale for like, I think, $2 or maybe like $1.50. As you guys can see, it has a very old school look to it. Reminds me of the kind of like the Haunted Mansion games on the NES, where you have you have this first person view that you can shift through from screen to screen, and it's supposed to be pretty good. Obviously, not a whole lot of reviews, but from what I've seen so far, it's interesting, and it's one of those games that's dirt cheap. I think, let's look at it. The regular price is like $4. It was on sale for $2, and so I decided to pull the trigger. Looking forward to it. It has a very unique art style, and we'll see what it's all about. The next one is Interstate Drifter 2000, another indie game that can be purchased for like dirt cheap. And I just wanted to give a shout out to the developers of this game. The game is only like $3. It was on sale when it launched recently in January. And what I recommend you guys to do is play the the first game, which is Interstate Drifter 1999. And let me just show you guys here. I'm going to go to the publisher or the developer website. Here's Interstate Drifter 1999. It's a free game, so this is a good preview of what the 2000 game or the sequel is. If you guys have an account on Steam, it's a free game, as you guys can see here. Just download it. It's kind of like a ColecoVision, Commodore 64-ish type of graphics with a kind of like an isometric view, as you guys can see here. Very cool sound effects and things like that, but very addicting gameplay. The game is very easy to pick up and play, but very hard to master. You can unlock different vehicles with different handling, different speeds. And the game has a mix of racing, exploration, open world, kind of like exploring cities and collectibles and finding secrets and so forth. Very unique gameplay features that, again, the 1999 game is it's free, so make sure you try that. And if you like that one, make sure you support the developer by buying the 2000 game, which is only like $2 or $3. So that's that. The next one is kind of like my addiction, Milver Idol. It's right now my most played game on Steam, and it shot up in gameplay time. If you guys are a fan of RuneScape, this is your game right here. It's basically RuneScape without all the gameplay elements, which at first it may sound like, okay, that sounds like super boring, right? But there are people out there, kind of like me, that enjoy the leveling up and the materials and the alchemy and the combining things. Basically, this is a type of game where you cut trees. Once you have enough materials, you can create armor. You can create food. You can go fishing. You can cook the fish to gain health, and you go on fighting enemies and whatnot. It may seem like very overwhelming, as you guys can see here. The menus are pretty big and so forth, but nevertheless, it's a very fun and addictive title, and it's an idle game, which means that you can play the game while you're not playing the game. Like you can run the game. For example, you can cut trees or chop trees, and you can close the game and then open the game later, like when you wake up the next day, and you're gonna have a lot of tree logs in your inventory, things like that. So I plan to do an impressions video on this because I've been hooked to this game, and there is a free version. This game is actually free on Android and like the desktop version, but the Steam version, I think it's like it's like $10, but it's typically on sale for like half of that. So I decided to purchase the Steam version just to support the developers, and it has some perks, kind of like achievements and Steam trading cards if you guys are into that. So very addicting game, and I already put over 100 hours in a very short amount of time. So very, very interesting game, and as you guys can see, the reviews are overwhelmingly positive. And speaking of idle games, here we have Dragon Cliff. I bought this just a few days ago, and I've heard nothing but good things. I've been kind of like on a, idle game kick on Steam. This is supposed to be semi-idle games, which means that you have to be a little bit more involved and engaged in terms of the gameplay. But as you guys can see, it's kind of like a turn-based RPG idle game with sprite work, very charming, retro inspired graphic art direction. And as you guys can see, it's all about completing goals, completing missions, and also upgrading your characters, your weapons, your armors, equipping your characters with different items and whatnot to gain to get advantages and so forth. It's supposed to be very addicting, very fun, and I wanted to give it a shot. I think it was on sale. Let's see, the regular price is $10, but it was on sale for like, I want to say $4 to $5. So I pulled the trigger on that, and I'm pretty happy so far. I've only played for a couple of minutes, but seems to be very, very addicting in terms of gameplay. And the last tab that I have here on my browser is fanatical.com. I just want to show you guys what I typically do to buy like Steam games. Right now they have a bundle fest, which means they have a ton of cheap bundles for games. The one that I took part, or that I decided to buy games, is this one, the Build Your Own Anime bundle. And as you guys can see here, you can pick 2 games for $10, 3 games for $14, or 5 games for $20. Me personally, I did the 3 for $14, as you can see here, and I purchased Tokyo Xanadu EX on Steam. This one, The Missing JJ, Macfield on the Island of Memories, and then Little Dragon's Cafe. Again, you can pick any of these games that you can see here. I already own Tokyo Xanadu on the PS4, but again, I've been spending a lot of time on my PC and Steam, so I decided to pick it up on Steam, and also to support Nihon Falcom. They're doing a great job of releasing their games on PC. So I decided to double dip on Tokyo Xanadu, which I haven't played, but I've heard nothing but good things. It's kind of like a mix of I guess the action-based gameplay of Ys combined with kind of like Persona, with some of the high school or school elements, if you will. And then this game, Little Dragon's Cafe, I've heard some positive things. This is a game that it's also available, I believe, on the PS4 and also on the Nintendo Switch. So it's a charming kind of like RPG type of game where you build your own town and things like that. So decided to pick that up, and also the Missing JJ, which is kind of like a mystery game with a very unique art direction, as you guys can see here. It's like a side-scrolling game. I don't know much about it, but it sounded really cool. And I'm just gonna go back to the main screen here for bundles, and just to give you an example, guys. For example, the All Stars bundle here. So as you guys can see here, this bundle includes all the games for $2, and if you were to buy the games on Steam, it'll be $178. So you have a 99% discount on the bundle. Now, granted, not all the games are winners sometimes, but let me just show you, for example, this bundle for $2, you can't go wrong. You get, I believe you get 7 games in this bundle. You get the Sniper Ghost Warrior Trilogy. You get Styx, which is kind of like a stealth type of game. It's an older title, obviously, but nevertheless, if you guys don't own it on Steam, it's one of those classic games. And same with the Overlord games. These games have been ongoing for the PC, and I remember they were even available on the PlayStation 2 and 3, I believe, and also on the Nintendo Wii. So you get the Overlord Ultimate Evil Collection. So this is 4 games within one. So this collection of like 7 games, it's like 11 games actually. And you get other games like Guilty Gear X2, fighting game with a great art direction. You get this game American Fugitive. I'm not really sure what it is. And you get a rally game, Virtual Rally 4 or whatever it is. So for $2, you can't go wrong. What I typically do is, if I find one game that I'm mildly interested, I buy this bundle. For $2. I think I already owned a couple of the Overlord games, so that would have been my kind of like my purchase game. And I also own the Guilty Gear games on Steam already. But this is a good way to rack up your Steam collection and getting games for cheap. So let's just explore another bundle really quick, like for example this one, the Killer Bundle number 15. So This one has tiers. You know, you can buy tier 1, which is 8 products, and then buy tier 2, which is 9 products. So for $5, let's just look at the first tier. For $5, you get games like The Walking Dead, A New Frontier, Blazing Chrome, which is kind of like a retro-inspired like shooter type of game, Streets of Fury, Road Redemption, The Neverwinter Nights. That's a classic PC game. So these are the games that you get in the tier 1 for $5, and I think if you pay $1 more, you get a Dirt Rally 2.0. Again, you cannot go wrong with these bundles to get games on the cheap. And for me, for example, if I were to buy this, the Walking Dead games are very fun. So, that game alone is $15, the regular price. But, if you pay $5, you get that game and all these other pretty cool games in the bundle. So make sure you check out Fanatical. That's they have the Bundle Fest right now. And as you guys can see here, tons of bundles with different games. And they also advertise like new games. For example, Persona 5 Strikers just came out. And, they're advertising the digital deluxe delicious edition. They have it for $57 instead of $70. So there's an 18% discount. So if you guys are fan of the Persona games, here you go. You can get it for cheap on Steam. And then they give you cool things like 5% coupon, as you guys can see here, for your future purchases. So with that being said, I want to show you one more set of pickups that I did on Stadia. I know Stadia is not a very popular platform here within the YouTube community, but I did buy Madden 21. This is, to me, like the perfect Stadia game for me because it's accessible. I can play it on any TV around the house. I can play it on my lunch break at work. And, inspired by the recent Tampa Bay Buccaneers Super Bowl victory, I'm so excited for that. But I can play it with my Bucks here on Madden 21, and anytime I want on any any laptop or tablet or cell phone. It's pretty convenient to say the least. So Madden 21 was one of my purchases, and as you guys can see here, I also purchased Immortals Phoenix Rising on Stadia. Just because I don't have any next gen or current gen systems, I guess. I don't have a PS5. I don't have an Xbox Series X yet. So, in order to get the best graphics, I figured, let me just buy it on Stadia. I don't need any hardware. You just pay and you play the game. So that's why I decided to buy Phoenix Rising on Stadia, because I don't have a PS5 nor a Series X. Crata, I already owned this, for a long time. But Watchdogs 2 is another one that I bought recently. It was on sale for like $5 or $5 or $6, I think. So, why not? I actually don't own Watchdogs 2 on any system. So I decided to pull the trigger and get it on Stadia. But with that being said, hopefully you guys enjoyed this new style of pickups video. So that's it for now. And, thank you for watching, and I will see you all later. Take it easy.